So I finally got back, and I already saw X-Men Dark Phoenix, and no, it was crap. I mean, seriously, the movie was really bad, and it was just so god awful. It just repeated itself from X-Men: The Last Stand. Origins Wolverine was the worst. X-Men: The Last Stand was the worst. Well, it was not terrible. X-Men Origins Wolverine was so terrible. It was the worst X-Men movie. Alright, everyone is tired about the X-Men Dark Phoenix plot because they already seen it from X3. God.
I'm number one. How you figure that I'm losing my place? If you the joker, player, then who's the ace? Hey, yo, it's me, the player to beat. I'm playing for keeps. I got some special moves. So homie, don't sleep. You learn that I teach, controlling the game. You can brag all you want, but you kids don't be rolling the same. I'm bringing the pain. The game is done. You might as well run. My time has come, and I'ma shine like the sun. No surprise, I bust a flip on you guys. The dance moves I do, I'm keeping it live, peeping the vibe. Fly guy style is fresh. Competition is none, player, and I jam like death. I'm the best. Can't be beat. You know it's me. Keep up the pace, and you'll advance with me. Come on.
Let's see who's better. You wanna play a tune? I wanna groove with you, so turn me on. Let's see who's better. Let's see. You wanna play a tune? I wanna groove with you, so turn me on. Oh, let's see. Ooh, come on, come on. Turn me on. Come on. Let's see who's better. Come on. So turn me.
So, X-Men Dark Phoenix. X-Men Dark Phoenix overall was just pretty bad. X-Men Dark Phoenix was pretty bad. And the reason why for this was because, one, the writing. The writing was so god-awful and was just terrible. And, wow, when I saw the trailers to the movie, I thought it was going to improve from... I thought it was going to improve from X-Men X-Men The Last Stand and X-Men Apocalypse, but it didn't. It did not improve from anything from the previous worst X-Men movies. It didn't. And it was the last X-Men movie. Although, in my opinion, Logan should be the last X-Men movie, not Dark Phoenix, since Dark Phoenix was so god-awful. And Days of Future Past also could have been, but we got Logan. But then we got this crap. X-Men Dark Phoenix. Basically a terrible movie. The writing was so god-awful, it was very terrible, and plus, the writing also has similarities to X-Men The Last Stand, which, another one which was, X-Men The Last Stand was horrible, it was terrible. Well, it wasn't terrible, it's not terrible to say the least, but it was the worst X-Men movie, and the movie had basically just, bad writing and subplots, and the Dark Phoenix plot, it could have been done much better. This movie overall could have done much better, but no, it decided to be a really bad X-Men movie, and plus this movie bombed at the box office. It didn't make as much money as anyone thought it would, and plus this movie had 22% rating on Rotten Tomatoes. This movie overall, my god, it was just basically terrible. The acting was just horrible. Some of the CGI effects were really good. Right, Diego?
Yeah.
Yeah, the CGI...
That's the only reason why the movie exists, just to show off the effect.
And the ending, my god. Yeah, but the ending, the ending, 20th Century Fox had to cut the original ending. There was an original ending, but they had to cut it out due to budgetary reasons, due to it being expensive, and they decided to make the ending cheaper. They decided to make the ending cheaper by killing Jean Grey and, of course, Jessica Chastain. I think that's her name. I'm not sure. That's the actress's name. And plus, this movie also has similar problems to Captain Marvel as well, like the aliens. Remember the shape-shifting aliens? They're not Skrulls. It's not Skrulls. It's a different kind of alien race. Alright? They shape-shift into Jessica Chastain and basically shape-shift into everybody. And yeah, like these aliens are just a knockoff of the Skrulls. And plus, you're probably wondering, the Skrulls could have been put into this, but no, okay? 20th Century Fox doesn't have the rights to the Skrull. Only Disney and Marvel, right? Plus this movie, there will be no more X-Men movies after this movie. You heard me correct. There will be no more X-Men movies after this movie, and the reason why is because of, well, the reason why is because of due to Disney buying Marvel. And plus there was plans for like a Gambit solo movie, a Deadpool 3, and New Mutants, but those are cancelled due to Disney buying Fox. Yeah, not Disney buying Marvel, I mean Disney buying Fox. Okay, those were cancelled due to Disney buying Fox. And that is good, in my opinion. Disney already bought Fox. So now we can forget these god-awful films. But anyways, X-Men Dark Phoenix. So basically, let's talk about the plot about X-Men Dark Phoenix. So the plot of X-Men Dark Phoenix is basically where the X-Men goes into space and helps the astronauts. And they're now appreciated by society. And, well, Jean Grey gets infected by the Dark Phoenix. And plus the space plot was very similar to Venom, by the way. This movie has very similar to Venom, but this one is worse, and Venom was okay at best. Yeah. And Jean Grey gets out of control. She feels this rage, and she kills everybody who gets in his way, and didn't mean to do it, and decides to become the Dark Phoenix. So now it's up to the X-Men to tell Jean to stop all this madness, to calm her down, and to get rid of the Phoenix. Yeah, that's basically the plot of this movie. And the plot was, well, the plot is terrible. And this idea for an X-Men movie could have done much better if only if it was in the right hands. And that's what's happening, because the director did not have the right hands for this movie, alright? And basically just ignoring about what happened to the facts in X-Men Apocalypse. And yeah, overall, the movie was just so terrible. The movie was just so terrible, and they did not like the movie. Alright? I did not like the movie. Alright? This movie had very poor acting, and of course with unlikable characters, with Cyclops being the unlikable character here, and of course they killed off Mystique. That's right, they killed off Mystique. And the reason why is because, well, you know, they were out of control and everything, and you know, they want to make it more emotional than ever. And plus, this was not as emotional. This was not emotional in any depth, in my opinion. This was supposed to feel like emotion, but it's not as emotional as the death of Mystique was not as emotional as Logan, not as emotional as Iron Man's death in Avengers Endgame. And yeah, overall, the death is just really bad. And let's get into more of this. Sophie Turner, again, she's really bad in this movie. Sophie Turner playing Jean Grey and Dark Phoenix. She's really bad in this movie, in my opinion. Right, the acting was just very poor, and plus Hank McCoy betraying the X-Men and decided to join Magneto and the Brotherhood. There was no reason. There was no reason for Beast to betray the X-Men and join Magneto and the Brotherhood. There was no reason to put that there, just only for a cool fight Civil War scene, okay? The scene where where Magneto and Ava, or I cannot remember that girl's name. She reminds me of the girl from The Last Stand. Alright, that girl, Magneto and Beast and Cyclops, Nightcrawler and Storm being fought. It was only just there just to feel like a Civil War scene, and just basically just a rip-off, in my opinion, a rip-off of Captain America Civil War. A rip-off of Captain America Civil War. And plus, Jessica Chastain, she's pretty bad. I don't know that much about her, but she's pretty bad in this movie, in my opinion. The acting is just really bad, and the characters were unlikable, and the action scenes were all amazing, but they were just only there just to feel entertained, which they were. Some of them were quite entertaining, and some of them weren't quite entertaining, and just wanted to focus more on the action. And plus, the only reasons why the aliens were there was to just explain about why Jean Grey is the Dark Phoenix, and that she's not the only main villain in there. And plus, not only that, there's also another problem about Professor X blocking Jean's mind to hide from the truth. That was basically terrible, in my opinion. That was terrible. That was basically terrible, and could have told the truth. And Jean Grey was, misguided for... Jean Grey was misunderstood for what Charles did. At least that's what I think. But still, that was so god-awful. Alright, it's... this movie is basically the worst, and I mean the worst, X-Men movie of all time. Along with Origins, of course. But still, this movie, wow, pretty much sucked and basically recopied from The Last Stand. And showing its good special effects and some of its great fighting choreography, but half of it was pretty bad. We also get to see Flake in a cameo, like this mutant girl, I think, I'm not sure, but I read from her from the comics.
One thing about her was that she had no point in the movie either.
Yeah,
other than
she was
just
only
to
there
show off their
just to be
special
in,
effects.
only just there for a brief cameo. And of course, what else other than that? What else? There's a lot going on for this movie. Let's see. The cheesy plot about getting revenge. That was basically terrible, in my opinion. Basically just terrible. And plus, this movie is...
Wouldn't it be terrible in everyone's opinion? Basically making it a fact.
Yeah, well, the revenge plot was terrible, and what else other than that? Did you think that these shape-shifting aliens were a ripoff of the Skrull?
Yeah, kinda.
Yeah, they were a ripoff of the Skrulls. Basically, this movie has basically similar problems to The Last Stand and Captain Marvel. And plus, this movie was trying to make it more like Avengers Infinity War and Endgame, but X-Men style, and not make it into a separate movie, just make it into a full movie. And also, they also copied some scenes from the MCU, like Captain America, the Captain America Civil War, the battle with Eric and Magneto again. Basically horrible. And the end of the movie, I will admit, there were some good things about the ending of the movie, which I like the scene where Eric and Charles are now being friends again, and decide to play chess for old time's sake. Obviously a cheesy part from the movies, but I kind of like that part. since they're both back being friends again. And then what else? And plus, Jessica Chastain's character, the alien, was unlikable. And for some good parts, the special effects are really amazing. The Quicksilver scenes are pretty amazing as well. And and what else? The friendship between Professor X and Charles Xavier is still good to this day. And that's all I'm gonna say. Those are the good parts. Those were the good parts in this movie. Overall, in my conclusion of X-Men Dark Phoenix, X-Men Dark Phoenix is just basically just terrible. It had bad writing, bad story, bad character arcs, and very unlikable villains, unlikable characters, and cheesy parts that should have been cut out, and that this movie could have been having a lot more rewrites. But instead, they decided to make this into, oh, you know what? Let's copy this from X-Men The Last Stand. That's all what it is. Wow. They basically just recopied the movie, except they didn't kill Cyclops, nor they didn't kill Professor X, nor they didn't kill Jean Grey. Well, Jean Grey did kill. Jean Grey did sacrifice herself, but in the ending of the film, we get to see the Phoenix floating around. We get to see her flying off. Overall, my conclusion, X-Men Dark Phoenix is basically terrible and one of the worst X-Men movies of all time, along with X-Men The Last Stand, X-Men Origins Wolverine, and X-Men Apocalypse. Right? We've already seen the X-Men, the Dark Phoenix plot 1,000 times, but this movie executes it really, really poorly. Right? The Dark Phoenix plot. If you want to watch a better, if you want to see the Dark Phoenix plot being better, I suggest you go watch X-Men the X-Men animated series Dark Phoenix plot, and Wolverine in the X-Men Dark Phoenix plot, since they're basically good. Overall, X-Men Dark Phoenix is basically terrible, with bad acting, bad characters, unlikable villains, and pointless aliens to put there just only to explain why Jean Grey was evil and that she's not the only main villain, and to just get more fight scenes, more than just, you know, getting the X-Men fighting the Dark Phoenix Jean Grey, and to fight Dark Phoenix Jessica Chastain. Yeah. That's basically just it. I can go on and sing about how bad the movie really was, but I'm not going to go on anymore. So, the cheaper ending, very horrible. This movie is much worse than Venom, except Venom is okay at best, but this movie sucked. This movie, I'm going to say it. That's all I'm going to say. It just sucked. Right? Just a pointless movie there. Just a pointless movie that should have been released, and it's just only there just to be entertaining. Fox could have, I'm not sure. Fox, and it could have done much better. Decided to make it a bit more like The Last Stand, but terrible. Since X-Men The Last Stand wasn't terrible, it had good parts, but with Dark Phoenix, it's horrible. Terrible. And I'm gonna give X-Men Dark Phoenix 1 star. Basically just horrible and a thumbs down. Right? So, don't waste your money to see this movie. I had the option to not see this movie, but I did see it. I could have just watched Men in Black International or Toy Story 4 more than this crap. Right? Men in Black International, I mean, I think it's gonna be good. Toy Story 4, I don't think it's gonna be that good. It might be that good, we do not know, because, well, I mean, let's face it, we don't need a Toy Story 4. Toy Story 3 is just enough. 3 movies, enough. We don't need a Toy Story 4. This might end up like Shrek Forever After. Except I like Shrek Forever After. Even though it does have flaws, it's still pretty good in my opinion. But anyways, X-Men Dark Phoenix, just basically terrible. don't waste your money to go see this movie. So that is all for the review. I'm Nicolas signing out. Thank you guys for watching this video. Please subscribe and comment below. And I'll see you in the next video. So peace.